Hello and welcome everyone. Today I'm here with an interesting topic that is programming, which is changing the world around us every day. And I will be covering one of the basic and easy types of programming, which is block coding in Blockzie application. So here we are going to learn about the coding, which is specifically a block coding and in a software or application called Blockzie. So I welcome you all here to learn and explore a new dilemma. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn about the introduction and setup of the Blockzy software. So let us first start with our table of contents that which things we are going to cover in this particular session. So our first category will be what is programming. Then after we will see in second part what is block coding. Then in the third we will see what is Blockzy software. In the fourth part, we will see applications of block coding or Blockzy software. Then after we will see how to install and set up the Blockzy software. After then, we will see in the sixth of part comparison between block coding and other coding languages. And in the last and seventh section, we will see the advantages of Blockzy software. So let us first start with the first part of this session, which is what is programming. Now, programming refers to a technological process for telling a computer which tasks to perform in order to solve a problem. So you can think of programming as a collaboration between humans and computers, in which human creates instructions, right? So, programming is the process of creating a set of instructions that tells a computer how to perform a specific task. So, thus basically programming involves different tasks such as analysis, generating algorithms, profiling algorithms, accuracy and resource consumption, and the implementation of algorithms in a chosen programming language. Now, these instructions are written using programming languages, which are sets of rules and syntax that enable humans to communicate with computer very well. Now, as we all know that programming enables so many things in our lives. For instance, when you browse a website to find information, contact a service provider, or make a purchase, programming allows you to interact with the site's on-page elements such as sign up or purchase button, contact forms, and drop-down menus. Or the another example is that the programming behind a mobile application can make it possible for you to order food, book a ride or share, track your files, track your fitness, access media, and more with ease. Now, let us briefly discuss about some key points about this coding. Now, the first one is the programming languages. Now, there are numerous programming languages, each designed for specific purpose. Some popular ones include Python, Java, C++, JavaScript, and more. The choice of the language depends on the task at hand, as different languages excel in different domains. The another one key point is syntax. Now, each and every programming language have their own syntax, which is a set of rules that dictates how code should be structured. Proper syntax is crucial as even small errors can lead to code not working properly. Then after there are different algorithms such as algorithms, data structures, development environments. Each and every programming language has the different development or integrated development environments. Also, they have different libraries and frameworks. So this is something how a programming language works. Now, let us see that what is block coding. This was all about programming. So, programming is to give instruction to computers to perform a specific task. Now, let us see what is block coding. So, as you can see over here, block coding In block coding, you will see different types of blocks with different colors and different shapes. What you will have to do is to just connect or collect or in sequence, you just have to attach them with each other. As you can see that this is the block coding part in which these three blocks are attached with each other in a particular sequence to create or to perform a specific task. So, block coding is a visual programming language that allows students to create their own interactive stories, games, and animations. Now, block coding activity that allows children to gain an understanding of how coding works to develop digital animation or games. It can also help get children used to computational thinking that is needed in programming. So, using this block coding platform, children can make use of different kinds of blocks, and they can learn, and also they can make different kinds of stories by themselves. We have a platform for block coding named Blockzie. So using that Blockzie platform, one can easily do block coding. So this is the Blockzie software which enables one to code in blocks. So Blockzie is a block programming software that makes it easy to create interactive stories, animations, games, music, and art with the help of block coding. So, Blockzy is a software to block code. Simple mouse movements allow kids to create images, insert sounds, and deliver interesting projects. With simple commands, user can create and animate characters such that they move, dance, and interact. So, depending upon the blocks you are using, you can animate or you can just move a sprite or make them dance and also make them interact. So, here are some key points in Blockzy software, or you can say the features of Blockzy software. The first one is visual blocks. So, instead of writing lines of code using text, block coding relies on visual blocks or icons that represent programming commands or functions. These blocks can be dragged and dropped into a workspace and connect to create a program. For example, here are here are the blocks, and using simple mouse movement you can just drag the block from here and drop it over here to this area. The second one is simplified syntax. Means block coding simplifies the programming by removing the need to remember and type complex syntax rules. Means in the block coding, you don't need to remember the syntax and each and everything for writing a proper code. You just need to drag and drop the blocks in a sequential manner. Instead, users select and arrange blocks that fit together logically. Now, the third is no syntax error. Means one of the, you can consider it as an advantage also. So one of the advantages of block coding is that it reduces syntax errors since users cannot create invalid code structures. Blocks that are incompatible or not logically connected simply cannot be combined. So it reduces the syntax errors. The next one is accessibility. So, block coding makes programming more accessible to people who may find traditional text based coding challenging, such as children or individual with no prior coding experience. So, it is accessible and it is usable by each and everyone. For example, for young students, young learners, and people with no coding or no technical background, they can easily start learn coding using Blockzy software. After we have this fifth is educational tools. It is commonly used as an educational tools, particularly in schools and coding boot camps, to introduce programming concepts and computational thinking to students. So this is the as area where you can use it as an educational tools to learn and to give the students idea of a basic programming language. After that, we have graphics and animation. Now, block coding is often used for creating games, animations, and interactive stories. So, users can easily manipulate sprites or objects and create rules for how they behave by snapping together blocks. So, one can easily make different kinds of graphics and animations using this Blockzie software. Then, after we have transition to text based coding. So, the block coding can serve as a stepping stone to text based coding. As users become more comfortable with programming concepts, they can transition to traditional coding languages like Python or Java. So, it is a step or a stepping stone in the area or in the vast area of the different programming languages. And the eighth is the easiest programming of hardware with Blockzie software. So our Blockzie software has an additional feature in which you can connect the microcontrollers and other sensors for your projects or home automation and anything like that. Now, the fourth one is the applications of block coding or simply Blockzie. So, what are the application areas of Blockzie software? So, the below are the application areas. For example, if you want to develop an application, you can use block coding for drone development, space technology, game development, interactive education, creative animation, science experiments, robotics development, and basic electronics. So, these are the branches where you can use block coding, and that block coding you can do in Blockzy software. So our fifth part is installation and setup of Blockzy. How to install and set up your Blockzy software. So let's get started with installation and setup process. So there are three different categories in which you can enable your Blockzy experience. The first one is Blockzy in browser. If you want to directly use it on browser, then just go to online coding in Blockzy software using this link. Just click onto this link and you'll be able to start learning on Blockzy software. The another one is Blockzy in the mobile. So what if you want to connect on Blockzy using your mobile phone? So the only thing you will need to do is just go to Play Store and in the application just write Blockzy and you will have something like this, and click on install button to install the Blockzy application and you'll be good to go. And the third one is Blockzy in desktop. So for this you'll have to go through some steps, and these are the steps to download or make it enable for desktop. For this, the step one is go to download link for offline. So this is the link through which you can go to this. So now after seeing the installation process in mobile application, now let us see the process for desktop. So these are the four steps you are going to follow to download and install the Blockzy software in your desktop. First is the go to download link for offline use. Then second, after visiting that site, you will download the Blockzy setup .exe file. After that, you will allow the security settings and then download. After downloading, just click on install and finish and you are good to go. So that was all about installation process for mobile and desktop. Now let us see the comparison between block coding and other coding languages. So as we know that programming is to give instruction to computer to follow a specific task and solve any problem, right? So there are numerous programming language and we can generally divide them into two parts. First one is text based coding and the another one is block coding. So, what is the comparison and what is the difference between them? We are going to discuss about them now. First is the speed, and the block based coding is generally has the advantage in terms of speed when compared to other coding languages. Means in other coding languages you have to write the lengthy programs following all the instructions, syntax, algorithm, data structures, and whereas in block based coding you just have to drag and drop the blocks available in the block section. So it is easier to create functional code in a shorter period of time using any block based coding. Next is syntax. Now, block coding simplifies programming by removing the need to remember and type complex syntax rules. Instead, users select and arrange blocks that fit together logically. So in this specific block coding, this is the advantage that you don't really need to remember each and every syntax for different programming language, because as we discussed earlier, each and every programming language has their own syntaxes and you need to follow that syntax. So in block coding, this trouble is minimized because you just have to drag and drop the blocks in a logical way and attach them in a sequential manner to get desirable output. Then after is the accessibility. Now the programming in block coding makes it more accessible to people who may find traditional text-based coding challenging, because the people with no prior coding experience or no technical knowledge can find this text-based coding very challenging because they don't know the concept and technical terms. Hence, for them, this block coding is a very good tool to start their journey in coding, such as children or individual with no prior coding experience. Then after we have debugging. Now debugging is easier with other coding languages than block based coding, because as if you know that whenever you write a program and you just simulate that, you will have the error which is going to suggest you in the bottom part of your coding page, and that is how you can minimize or you can clear or erase that error. Whereas in block based coding you just have to figure out on your own, so it is easier to find errors and bugs in other coding languages than in the block based coding. Whereas in readability, the other coding languages offer more readability than block based coding. So it is easier to read and understand code written in another coding languages rather than written in the block coding language. The other one is error handling. Now, error handling is easier with other coding languages than block based coding because it is easier to debug error and exceptions in the other coding languages than it is with block based coding. Then after we have complexity. So other coding languages allow for more complexity than block based coding. So means you can write more complex code in other programming languages very easily, comparing it with block coding or this block coding languages. So there are some pros and cons of each and every coding languages. There are some advantages of block coding, whereas there are some disadvantages of it as well. And also there are some advantages of text based coding, and there are also some disadvantages about them also. So this was just the comparison between the text based coding and in block coding. So after seeing the installation process, basics of Blockzie, and the comparison between the text-based coding and the block coding, now we will see the advantages, like what kind of advantages this Blockzie software has to help you. So these are the advantages of Blockzie software. First one is to easy to learn. So its drag and drop approach has helped non-technical student easily learn block coding. Means using this Blockzie software one can easily learn how to code. Then easy to teach. So this Blockzie software, or you can say block coding, is very easy for students to understand
and hence it is easy to teach them also. Then after we have encourages experimentation, means in the block coding session what you are going to need is you are just connecting one or more blocks in a sequential manner. Hence it encourages your experimentation, means you can easily experiment using the different kinds of blocks, attaching them with one another. So it encourages experimentation in oneself. Then after it reduces syntax errors, means in the particular block coding and also in Blockzie, you don't really need to write program yourself. You just need to drag and drop the blocks available in block programming palette. Hence, there is no syntax based error. Means you are not going to write anything. You're just dragging and dropping the blocks available in block programming palette, which reduces the syntax error. And easy debugging means you can easily find errors in your blocks. So this was all about the first tutorial and the very first introduction to block coding and Blockzy software. We will see you in the next one.